Kylian Mbappé.
He just needs to focus on football. That's the only thing he needs to do.
At just 20 years old, after winning the award for the best player in League One, Mbappé was already threatening the board. I feel that the time has come to take on greater responsibilities.
Respect is nothing you ask for. Respect is something you take. So it depends on you.
From the moment Mbappé began using his contract to impose his authority, he lost the respect of the dressing room. On the very night he signed his new contract, PSG's historic sporting director Leonardo was fired. Leonardo had been at war with Mbappé's inner circle because he favored the South American players in the squad.
And I think it's important because if you create an image of yourself that is not you,
he needs to stop trying to be the good guy in the media. Every influential voice in that dressing room gradually disappeared, clearing the way for Mbappé to become the club's undisputed leader. Mauricio Pochettino tried twice to discipline a player for breaking the team's rules, but on both occasions, the board ordered him to let the matter go.
If it was me and he don't respect me, that young player is the last thing he would have in his life, because I would make sure he respect.
Then came the infamous penalty gate involving Neymar. Mbappé missed the first penalty, but later in the same match, PSG was awarded another spot kick. Neymar picked up the ball, but Mbappé walked over and demanded to take it. The Brazilian refused to hand it over not because Mbappé had missed the first one, but because, before the match, the manager had officially named Mbappé as the first-choice penalty taker and Neymar as the second. Later, at Marco Verratti's wedding, Mbappé had a direct conversation with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He asked the Swedish legend what he should do with his career. Zlatan's answer was immediate. "If I were you, I'd go to Real Madrid." He then gave Mbappé what would become the most important advice of his life. Spending your entire career at home is the easy path. But if you pack your bags and go somewhere else, that's a real adventure. Mbappé didn't listen in time, and Zlatan soon pointed to the perfect counterexample.
I think Haaland is very intelligent in the way he's playing. He doesn't touch the ball more than he needs to, and I think he's in the perfect environment.
Erling Haaland is obsessed with one thing, scoring goals. He never tries to do things outside his strengths. He doesn't want to be a playmaking midfielder. That wasn't just praise for Haaland, it was also a precise diagnosis of Kylian Mbappé. For years, Mbappé had convinced the football world that PSG simply wasn't good enough to win the Champions League. Ibrahimovic had identified the club's cultural and structural problems long before, but Luis Enrique was the first coach to confront them head-on. When it became clear at the beginning of 2024 that Mbappé would leave the club, Luis Enrique did something Mauricio Pochettino had never been allowed to do. He started substituting Mbappé around the 60th minute, and even left him on the bench for important league matches. His explanation was blunt. "When I decide he plays, he plays. When I decide he doesn't, he doesn't. My job is to do what's best for this team, and I'm convinced we'll be a much better team next season." Half of Europe expected PSG to collapse after Mbappé's departure, but the exact opposite happened. Players like Vitinha finally had the freedom to play without feeling obligated to funnel every attack through Mbappé. Luis Enrique introduced a completely new philosophy, a football revolution. For years, the club had been held hostage by one player's 40 goals a season. As Enrique put it, "I'd rather have 4 players scoring 12 goals each than 1 player scoring 40. After the failed Messi, Neymar, Mbappé era, the Qatari owners realized the world viewed PSG as nothing more than a plastic club. So instead of signing another superstar, they changed direction. Ousmane Dembélé, once known mainly for injuries during his time in Spain, became the ultimate proof that Ibrahimovic had been right all along. A superstar culture can destroy a footballer's identity, while discipline and hard work rebuild it. Luis Enrique transformed Dembélé into a relentless worker and the engine of the team. The result? He won the Ballon d'Or before Mbappé ever did. Winning the Champions League with a reinvented Dembélé proved that what PSG had lacked all along wasn't a bigger budget or a bigger name. It was discipline, hard work, and complete commitment to the manager's system. Paris stopped being Mbappé FC. As Luis Enrique explained, he's a phenomenal player, but football is a team sport. I wish him nothing but the best. My job is to build a structure that doesn't depend on a single player. That's the only way PSG can truly grow as an institution. Ironically, before Mbappé arrived at Real Madrid, he joined a team that had already conquered Europe by playing exactly the kind of football Luis Enrique advocates today. Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Rodrigo shared the goals, played unpredictably, and always put the team first. That leads to an uncomfortable truth. Mbappé wasn't the missing piece, he was an extra piece forced into a puzzle that had already been completed. Luis Enrique even said publicly what few managers would ever dare admit. If you expect Mbappé to run 11 kilometers every match, don't bother, he simply won't do it. The irony is striking. A man whose ego had become a global brand was being lectured about ego by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan possessed an enormous ego himself, but he always used it for the benefit of the team. He absorbed the pressure so his teammates wouldn't have to. Whenever the system broke down, he demanded the ball and took responsibility. Zlatan warned Mbappé, but Mbappé chose not to listen.